Look at that. Pretty cool, right? Essentially what we have here is an inaccurate, unsophisticated barometer to measure air pressure. What the hell is that? What the hell is that? So what we've got here is just a piece of cork with some matches in it. We're gonna light it. We're gonna drop this big graduated cylinder over top of it. Magic. All right, let's see if this works. Doesn't always work. Not bad, huh? Notice, hardly any water out there left. It's all moved up, sucked up inside the tube. Pretty cool. If we take a look at what happened here, most of that water got sucked up inside the graduated cylinder. So one of the explanations always given for this has always been that the matches burned up all of the air inside, created a little vacuum which sucked the water up inside. A little bit true. It's burning up the oxygen. Oxygen's only about 21% of the air. So what actually accounts for most of it is that the air heated up while the matches were burning. Warmer air expands pretty quickly, and a lot of the air, a good amount of the air escaped. There was bubbles coming out. You could actually see the bubbles coming out with the warm air escaping as we put it down in the water. And then as soon as the fire went out, the air cooled. Cooling air contracts, shrinking, and so it's still a partial vacuum. So right now, the air pressure in the room is higher than the air pressure inside there. So the water pushes down on the outside air, forcing it up in there. Not unlike the old mercury barometers that they used to use. And if you watch the news now, you will still see them here in America give you your barometric pressure in inches of mercury. Not too different from this. It would be an open pool of mercury, and then they would measure how far up that moved daily. Mercury wouldn't evaporate. Water is going to evaporate, and this is going to change. It'll change with the changing air pressure, but it'll also change with the evaporation of water. So now I added some water to the Frisbee. So if I were to leave this sit for days, and tomorrow the air pressure changes, for instance, low pressure moves into the area, there's going to be less air pushing down on the water, and so the inside water will have more pressure pushing out, and it'll go down. This water would rise up a little bit. Of course, it's going to evaporate in this real dry room, but we could kind of monitor air pressure changes for a little bit with this rudimentary system right here. I'm sure there's somebody out there that has a reason why this won't work, but still a pretty cool little thing to watch. So what actually is air pressure? We haven't even talked about that yet. So let's do that now. Air pressure is simply a measure of the amount of air above you all the way to the top of the atmosphere, like a column like that. So they all squeeze down, they're pulled down by gravity. We end up having about 15 pounds of air pressure per square inch on every part of your body right now, from the sides, the bottoms, tops, all directions. Just the weight of the air above us, all the way to the top. The density of the air is much greater here at the surface.
the molecules are squeezed much closer together because of gravity compressing the air. As you go up the mountain, the molecules move farther and farther apart, less dense, much less air pressure. If you take a bag of chips down here at the surface that are sealed up at 15 pounds per square inch, take them up to a high enough mountain, inside is still pushing out at 15 pounds per square inch. And so it'll inflate as you go up, as it feels less and less air pressure on the outside. Balloons do the same thing. As a balloon goes up through the atmosphere, it'll expand, pushing outward until it ultimately pops. Your insides are pushing out at 15 pounds per square inch, so when you go up in an airplane and the atmospheric pressure changes, you might feel the difference on your head. It also affects the boiling point. Down here, 212, as you go up, the boiling point gets less and less because there's less air pressure holding the water together. If we could take something like this, like a vacuum chamber, suck all the air out of it, those little marshmallows will expand because there's no air pushing on them anymore, holding them in that marshmallow shape, and they'll expand. So if you put a jar of water in there, remove all the air, it'll actually boil at room temperature. If you could get it out of there quick enough, you could drink boiling water. Boiling just means evaporating vigorously, not hot. So maybe at one time Mars had water and a heavier atmosphere, lost a lot of its atmosphere, and the water boiled away into space. Air pressure is also the reason why straws work. All you do is suck the air out of it, and now it's evacuated in there, and then the air is sucked up in, pushed in rather, just like our barometer we made earlier. At high atmospheric pressure out here, low on the inside, it's got to go somewhere, so it pushes it up in there. We could literally do this all day, giving cool examples of air pressure, but I think you get it. Let's get out of here. Chai tea or Tai Chi? That's the end. There was really no need to come back here, other than to play the song at the end, so... Oh, there is one other thing. What the hell is that? What the hell is that?
Snack and Tire Studio. Snack and Tire Studio.
Snack and Tire Studios animation. Eat more Snack and Tires.